So the image I just took a picture of a couple minutes back, I just drew that. I had to get that out of me because sometimes when I'm irritated, I feel better when I'm doing something I enjoy doing. Um, Drawing, listening to music. It brings me back to a level where I can just calm down and relax and just step back from the situation I'm in if the situation happens to be a little overwhelming or stressful, as it is when you're trying to have conversation with somebody who seemingly only wishes to bring you down to a level that's designed in order to make you look crazy, even though when their plan doesn't work, they still find a way to try and blame you. Imagine trying to set someone up and then your plan backfires. And that person you were trying to set up obviously has no clue about it. And then your plan backfired. And then you still find a way to blame it on the person you're trying to set up. That's a strange mentality to have. One of which I do not. You see, I don't live my life to try to set people up. I live my life to try to function as a person living. It takes quite a long time to try and pull yourself out of a rut that you may have gotten into because you wanted to change your lifestyle into something else that you didn't have before. So in my case, 2 years ago, I left my wife. Not the kids, which of course people can say that that's what I did. I left her and the kids. Yeah. If that's what makes you feel better in order to justify your approach towards pointing your finger at somebody, because you would never do that. You would never decide to do those things, huh? So because you've lived your entire 30, 40-year relationship or marriage with someone you've interlocked with your lives, and then you look into my life, you can see that I got a divorce. You can see that I've been trying my hardest to do things that seemingly in a world where you're supposed to do things a set specific way, it just becomes very overbearing and very hard to do. I don't give up, but there are people in my life here, like brothers, sisters, or moms, dads, or these people seriously do not seem to understand that it's a concept such as this. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean I'm the one who's wrong. It means you can't understand it. So, to people who tell me I'm wrong, and to people who tell me things that I say or things I talk about make no sense at all, this isn't me trying to prove you wrong. This is just me drawing a piece of me on and putting it on paper to show you that if you can't understand something so simple on paper, well, that's an entirely different topic. I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm not trying to be rude to the people who don't understand and don't know. And I'm not even trying to be rude at all, period. I'm just discussing and expressing to the people, to one person in particular, but to people who may wish to point their fingers and say that nothing that I say makes sense. Well, it's because you can't understand it. You have to try to understand something before you can learn what it is. If you don't try, you will never learn. So just because you don't understand it doesn't mean what I'm saying isn't true. It doesn't mean what I'm saying doesn't make sense. It means you don't have your mind opened up enough to comprehend the information that is coming in when I am speaking. So if you look at this, it's very, very, very simple. You see, and I still have a feeling that there's going to be people out there that look at this and say, this makes no sense. But all you have to do is look at it closely. And then understand why everything on the bottom is upside down. Because you see, the bottom represents where we are. We are at the bottom. So everything at the bottom is upside down. So then everything at the top is both up and down, but being guarded. But if you want to read what this says, very simply, I'll be more than happy to read it. You see, it's a book up top. It says, 6 is the key to unlock the G. And then on the other side it says, A through I, 1 through 9, oh my. So then, take note of the detail. You see, as they say, the devil is in the details. So, just take note of the detail. One lightning bolt. And some weird symbols you've never seen before. And a giant M. And a little weird tiny stick-shaped W behind it. The M is guarding the W, but the W is there holding up the 1 and 1, which is also in turn guarding the center of those two, which stands proudly as the clock in a sense. But you could also say that one side is holding the hour and one side is holding the minute. Or you could say one side is holding a day and one side is holding a month. Or you could say M and W merged in such a way creates something in order for you to understand how and why what is on top is intertwined and intermingled as one, as all of this stands together. So, as it is that there may be people who don't understand it and wish to point fingers and say that it's crazy, it doesn't mean I'm crazy that you don't understand it. It means I failed you as somebody who wishes to teach something new that you've never learned before. And your brain turns around and demonizes it and wishes to turn away and to run. That is not what I wish for you to do. What I wish for you to do is have questions which may, in fact, create answers inside of them. So there has been a few things going on today which I don't agree with. Many people don't agree with it. But it's something that maybe for some reason never changes. Because not enough people actually stand up enough to get these things figured out. So in my case, things become very intricate to understand how it is I came to understand. But that doesn't mean I deserve to be punished for it. Or anyone else that this happens to. And you bet your ass that there is many people who are going through this phase of life where your mind opens up and you realize things that you've never once questioned until a certain point, the point of realization of all of our lives. Why is it that when you start to understand and question things, that the ones closest to you in your everyday life want to make you feel like you're the crazy one for it? That's crazy to me.